right, this will be a quick one. A few tips on how to use your calculator. First and foremost, you cannot have a graphing calculator at the Regents exam. So do not show up with one, please. Do not show up with one. Please also show up with one that you know how to use, okay? There's different versions of them. Some of them work differently, okay? Most of you have the same type of calculator, a Texas Instruments one, a TI one. So that's what I'm going to talk about. I'm actually going to talk about how to use your calculator. Something that's really important that a lot of you still don't know, even though I've taught this to you and we've talked about it, is this E button. It's a capital E, okay? It's different than E, which is like natural log stuff, okay? E, this big capital E, like E for Aaron, okay? You'll see that on your calculator. You will have a button that says, might have two E's like this. It might have one. It might also say X. Okay? In chemistry, we do a lot of stuff with exponents or scientific notation. Okay? So if you have something like you're trying to figure out how many moles this is, 5 times 10 to the 25th particles. And you want to figure out how many moles that is. Well, you divide it by 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. Now, it's really important that you punch that into your calculator properly. So right now, go get a calculator and try putting this calculation into it. Okay? Go right now. I will wait. Get a calculator and try to calculate that. I'm going to do the same thing. You should have gotten 83, okay? 83, not 83 times any giant number, okay? You should have gotten 83. Now, if you punch this into your calculator improperly, I will tell you what you may have gotten. 8.3 times 10 to the 47th power, okay? I can promise you that we are not going to be doing anything. You should not ever get anything in chemistry where you get 10 to the 47th power, okay? Absolutely not. What happened is that it divided by 6.02 and then multiplied the whole thing by 10 to the 23rd, okay? So that's where your E button comes in. So see if you can find that E or exponent button, your double E, single E, or EXP. It is not the caret. It's not the little thing that looks like this, okay? When you're entering something like that into your calculator, what you would write is you would push the 5 button, and then you would put the E button. I'm going to do it as double E because I think that's what most of you have. And then you would put 25, okay? What this E button is it's essentially times 10 to the, and then you tell it what exponent. So if you get an answer that says 8.3, big capital E, 47, that means 8.3 times 10 to the 47th power. So you can't just ignore this. That's what that actually means. So if you're putting this calculation up here into your calculator and you want to use that awesome E button, you would do this. And then you would do, excuse me, let me get this guy deleted. Then you would do your divided by, is it actually a division symbol? Yes, it is. There's divided by, and then you would do, I figure you know how to put in 6.02, E 23. Okay? That will keep it all together. That's essentially the same as if you were to put parentheses around that whole thing. If the E button terrifies you, it's fine. You're not alone. If you don't understand it, make sure you put parentheses around all your scientific notation numbers. So you should put parentheses and then do 5 times 10 to the 25th. Even if you're adding or subtracting, multiplying, etc., put parentheses around it, okay? Then you can do divided by parentheses 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. That will make sure it divides by this whole giant number. Okay? Another thing that we have to use in this Regents is our log button. All logs will be to the base 10. Okay, so you should be able to do them in your head. A log is just the exponent. So if I have 10 to the negative 5th, and I want 1 times 10 to the negative 5th, and that's my molarity of H3O plus, because it's an acid, okay? If I wanted to know the pH of this, pH is negative log of 1 times 10 to the minus 5th. Okay, that is actually 5th. There we go. What this does is it just ends up taking the exponent on the 10, because it's 1 right here, and it's going to be negative of that, so a negative, negative 5. The pH here is 5. If I give you the pH of 10, the H plus concentration, the reverse of that log is 10 to the, that's not an A, excuse me, it would be 10 to the negative pH, okay? So the concentration of H plus, to reverse that, is 10 to the negative 10, or 1 times 10 to the negative 10. Okay, so you would just type this in here as you see it. Make sure you have those parentheses. You could certainly take this times 10 to the and use your E instead, and it would be 1 EE negative 5. And that would be 1 times 10 to the negative 5.